Hello. So, of course, about a minute after I hit end on the last video, I said, wait a second, I didn't zoom out fully enough. So just to be very clear, these videos are going to be in reverse chronological order. This latest one, hopefully the biggest picture, second video would be on a big picture and sort of threading the needle exactly on how the today gets to the tomorrow. And then the first video is my late night brainstorm, whereby I go into the history of how this field has developed and how I sort of see it going in the near future. So to be very brief and concise here, going along the thread that is in the next video that you'll see, basically my talk is about how we are on the cusp of a VFX technology revolution. A few different technology threads are finally coming together, and we are going to have a scenario in the very near future where open source VFX assets, developed in such environments as Blender and Maya and other things, are able to be shared and swapped in an open source fashion at a very low cost or at no cost, with other technological developments with regards to real-time rendering engines, and it's technically not rendering, but it's real-time VFX engines. It may lead to a disintermediation of some industries, and the first one that came to mind was Hollywood, both because it was very clear, the thread was very easy to tell the story there between where we are at today and where we will be, but also because it's been happening already, and we've already started to see the development and growth of VFX in Hollywood and other places. But of course, I didn't zoom out enough, and after I hit end, I said, wait a second, let me think about this for about 10 more seconds. Of course, I missed the big one. You'll sort of get into it, or rather, I will get into it in the other videos, in the next video in the series. But basically, we are very shortly going to be having open source swapping of VFX assets. These assets are done either for free or they are done for cheap. It is clear that these assets can be put into very inexpensive, technologically low-lift, infrastructurally low-lift engines for real-time deployment right when virtual reality is getting good. So my next videos will talk about the disintermediation of Hollywood and gets really into the specifics there. But for those who are following along who are following the VR industry, this is the real big picture here, is that after this is able to take its next step, or rather, if a few other technologies on the VR side are able to be matured enough to get this going, that's where we're going to be. And we're going to be at a place where world building, virtual world building, is going to be cheap and easy. I'm certainly not the first guy to say this. Others have covered this topic, but I don't think others have necessarily covered it from the angle that I'm sort of examining here, which specifically has to do with some unexpected innovations that occurred within the Blender software suite, downstream of the Blender Foundation's work, and how Eevee as an engine or as a tool that's subsidiary to the Blender suite may be the tech, the keystone here, the tech that cuts the Gordian knot or threads the needle, whatever analogy you'd like to use there, to really get us to a world where we can cheaply trade open source assets that are VFX or computer rendered that look really good, very immersive, and essentially allow us to build digital geographies. On the low end, you're looking at the disintermediation of Hollywood. On the high end, you're looking at the opportunity in VR and virtual worlds. So we're putting this video chronologically, the last one shot, but hopefully the first one in the series, and provides a little bit more perspective going forward. Thank you.